So we're going to go over some of the nominations for the Game Awards, and we can have a bit of a chat about them. So let's start with let's start with Best Multiplayer Game. So the 2021 nominees for Best Multiplayer Game are Back 4 Blood, Knockout City, It Takes Two, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, and Valheim. Now I gotta be honest, I haven't actually played any of these games. I know that Monster Hunter Rise has done real well on the Switch, and I know that it's become one of the most selling Monster Hunter games ever. And Knockout City, I thought was doing so well. I'd heard good things about it. I knew it was doing well for a while. It's that free-to-play game, right? But I've heard that it's lost a lot of steam. I hope that doesn't continue. Back 4 Blood, I've heard mixed things about as well. Have you played Back 4 Blood? I haven't played it yet. Have you played any of these games? I know that the New World is supposedly doing really well as well. And as for Valheim, I didn't know that came out this year. For some reason, I thought that it came out last year. I thought it came out. No, that doesn't make any sense. You all capitalize, please. Let's see, what else do we want to look at? Let's take a look at Best Action Game. Okay, so we've got Back 4 Blood again. I get the feeling we're going to see Back 4 Blood a lot on this ballot. Chivalry 2, Deathloop, Far Cry 6, and Returnal. Now, again, I haven't really played any of these games, I gotta be honest, but I know that Chivalry 2, that's the one that's like first person VR, and the combat's like really gory. I gotta be honest with you, that kind of made me a little bit uncomfortable. I've seen some gameplay for it, and it's a bit much, for me anyway. I have a buddy that's played Far Cry 6, and he says that he's loved it. And as for Returnal, well, I think we're seeing the roguelikes really coming into their own. We got these two games being roguelikes. What's the next one we want to take a look at? Let's take a look at Best Role-Playing Game. Have you played any of these RPGs? I am frankly shocked that Cyberpunk is even in the running, given the broken mess that game released in. Monster Hunter Rise, I've heard good things about. Scarlet Nexus, I haven't heard that much about it, but I'm guessing that it's obviously not bad. I've heard that it was a little bit too anime for some people. Shin Megami Tensei 5. Now this is one that I could see really taking home the prize, given that it's a Switch game, but it's apparently really good. I haven't played it yet myself. I've been thinking about getting it. I've been thinking about giving it a try, but also like lately I don't know what it is, but I feel like I'm a little bit more hesitant to pick up games that I don't know much about. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that it's become so expensive to buy a new game, especially digitally or physically or however. And if it's digital, there's nothing really pulling you in to play it. And if something doesn't click with you right away, then it feels like you've wasted that money. Like, I would love, if Shin Megami Tensei had a demo, I would give it a try in a heartbeat, 100%. And as for Tales of Arise, I've also heard really good things about it. I've got Tales of Vesperia, I have the definitive edition of that one, and it's pretty fun. And I played Tales of Symphonia, I played Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World, the Wii sequel to the first one that wasn't amazing, but it was pretty tasty, pretty good. I enjoyed it anyway. But yeah, this is a pretty interesting category. I'm excited to see how this one turns out, specifically, because I think this is the first time in a long time that there isn't a a traditional Western RPG on the list, with the exception of Cyberpunk. And so if Cyberpunk wins, I think there might be some concern about the feeling against or for or about JRPGs with regards to the Game Awards. And maybe I'm wrong, but I'm excited to see how this one pans out specifically. Let's go back to categories here. let's take a look at... What do we say? Let's take a look at best or most anticipated game. Yes. So most anticipated game. Are you stoked for any of these games? I mean, God of War Ragnarok looks like it's going to be pretty cool. For the PlayStation fans out there, Horizon Forbidden West? Absolutely. You kidding? I've seen some of those trailers. They look beautiful. And from what I understand, Elden Ring is basically just Dark Souls Breath of the Wild. So, and then you've got, of course, the sequel to Breath of the Wild. It's like everybody else is trying to catch up to what Breath of the Wild did before. And then you've got Starfield, which is something that folks have been waiting for literal years. I guess all these games have had people waiting for them for years, but you catch my drift. I think this might be the longest wait we've seen on a game in a very long time, with the exception of maybe Cyberpunk or Final Fantasy VII Remake. Let's take a look at games for impact. I don't think we looked at this one yet. So we've got Before Your Eyes, Boyfriend Dungeon, Chicory, A Colorful Tale, Life is Strange True Colors, and No Longer Home. So I'll be honest, I haven't played any of these. Although Boyfriend Dungeon looked like it was pretty cool. And Chicory was another one that was like an indie on Switch that was supposed to be really good as well. He's kind of running around, coloring the world, making sure the world is able to come back in a big, colorful way. Let's take a look at Best Action Adventure next. Okay, so this is another one that I'm going to be excited to see pan out. I gotta be honest, I wouldn't have classified Resident Evil Village as an action-adventure game. I would have considered it to be a first-person game, like a first-person shooter. Because that's apparently a lot of what you do. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, I've heard pretty good things about. Psychonauts 2, now this is one that, again, was a long time coming, and a lot of people were very excited about. And you know what? I'm excited to see how this category goes as well. Guardians of the Galaxy was another one that I've heard really good things about, and some say that it would probably do for the Guardians of the Galaxy what Spider-Man PS4 did for that. So it'll be really cool to see if more of these Marvel games get made to that, high level again. And finally, Metroid Dread, the game we'll be playing later today, which is one of my definitely one of my Game of the Year contenders. Let's take a look at Best Fighting Game. So this one was a bit of a shock. I took a look at some of these categories beforehand, and this one was a bit of a surprise for me to see that the new Demon Slayer game, like an arena fighting game based on an anime, was coming in at as one of the best fighting games of the year. And then Guilty Gear Strive, obviously this was going to be on here. We knew this was going to be on here. And then Melty Blood, from what I understand, is very much has a very high aerial game. Lots of aerial footsies. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Now this was another one that I'm a bit surprised to see on here, given that it was a more involved, I guess, Smash clone? Or platform fighter, I guess we have to call them now. And Virtua Fighter 5. Now, I haven't played a Virtua Fighter game since Virtua Fighter 1 in the arcades 1 or 2 times, where the kick button didn't work. So, I'll be honest, I haven't played the Virtua Fighters in a long time. But this is going to be another category to watch, for sure. Let's take a look at Best Esports Game. Because I haven't looked at this one. Really? Counter-Strike. And just I don't think any of these games came out this year, but they're still considered Best Esport? Huh. I mean, I guess if you are League of Legends, Dota, Counter-Strike, COD, and Valorant, those are the 5 biggest games, biggest esports titles. But you would think that you would see like Apex on here or any other big esports. 'Cause I'm sure there's other big esports that aren't these games. And is this just Call of Duty in general? Or is this Warzone? Or is this... Like, this doesn't really tell us much, unfortunately. This doesn't really say which Call of Duty it is. Like, is it just the Call of Duty of the week? Or the Call of Duty of the week? Call of Duty of the month? Anyway. Let's take a look at Best Indie Debut. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't played any of these, but I've heard good things about the Forgotten City. Jacob Geller did a video about the Forgotten City, and it was a really good video, and I definitely recommend you check it out. Valheim was an indie game. I didn't know that. And Sable. Again, I don't know this one, unfortunately. And Kena Bridge of Spirits, I've heard good things about. And as for the Artful Escape, I don't know it either. Not that I wouldn't like to, and I'm sure that I would really much enjoy them. But it just, there's not games that I've picked up, or games that I've looked into too much. What do you say we finally... Did I take a look at Best Indie already? Did I take a look at Best Indie? I didn't look at Best Indie Game yet. Okay. So, Death's Door recently came out on Switch, and I've heard really good things about it. You could just call this video, I've heard really good things about it. Inscription, I don't know anything about, but is this the... I think this might be the horror-themed card game. Maybe. Loop Hero, I've heard incredible things about, and I would consider picking it up and giving it a try, depending on its price point when it comes out on Switch. And 12 Minutes is, again, one that I've heard good things about. Well, mixed things, actually, given what happens in this game and the things you're forced to do. But it brings up a lot of questions about, like, what happens to your morality if you are caught in a Groundhog Day situation? Anyway, really good thought-provoking ideas, and it's a thought-provoking game for sure. Again, I bring this up again, Jacob Geller did a really good video about Groundhog Day and 12 Minutes, and what do you do when, like, how does that affect your morality when you can do anything and still get reset back to the start? Or when you can reset yourself at any time. Anyway, really good video, really good creator. Definitely recommend checking him out. Now finally, let's take a look at the big daddy of all, the whole thing. Game of the Year. Now this is a stacked category if I ever saw one, given that you have, like, so many great options here. Deathloop, which I've heard good things about. It Takes Two, I don't know anything about. Metroid Dread, I love it. It's my it would be my choice of these for Game of the Year. Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. Now what's interesting is that all of these were also in the action adventure category. And then they just threw these two on at the end. Which, I mean, take from that what you will. It's definitely an interesting point. No doubt about that. But it'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting to see how the Game Awards go down, for sure.